Hello, and welcome to the SQV Conversation, where we always honor the small, quiet voice. I'm your host, tongue-tied Shannon Joy McKeel, and today I have a pretty super-duper dad with me. His name is Miran Gunnells, and he's the founder and CEO of Real Fathers, Inc., and I'm so pleased to have you today, Miran. Welcome to the SQV.
Thank you for having me on the SQV.
Awesome. Well, this has been a real treat to get to know you over the past couple months as we've been navigating some networking groups, namely the Unicorn Universe. Shout out to Michael and Daniel and all the people that make that program special.
Oh, yes.
They're really good. They're really good at connecting cool people with other cool people.
Right. Yeah, especially Mr. Michaels. He's and Dave. Them two is very. Well, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be in the spot I'm in right now. Because when I first met Dave, awesome guy. He came in. I told him what I was doing and things like that, and he's like, "Oh yeah, brother, that's nice. That's nice. I want you to come here to this event. I got a couple of people to meet. I want you to meet." And he met Michael Gray. And Michael Gray, he believed in my project and everything. So
Awesome.
I'm honored to be in this situation, in this position.
Yeah, it's good to have good people around you. I want to ask you a few questions about your background because you and I have had little spurts of breakout sessions, but I think it's good as a journalist if I can bring out some different things that you don't normally have time to talk about. So this is a little extended version of a networking
Right.
Yeah. So I just like to ask you some questions about your origin. So tell me about little Miran growing up. What was your life like? And then let's talk about your marriage and your children, and then we'll get into the Real Fathers Inc. and how that was born.
Okay. All right. I was born in February 27, 1973. I was born in Little Rock, Arkansas, and growing up in a little country town in Arkansas, and I didn't have no dad. My mom was single. She had 3 kids. I got a younger sister and a younger brother, and we were just growing up together. No dad in our lives, so it was kind of hard because I was liking to have a dad because all my friends and stuff had dads and stuff like that, and it's like, man, it's probably because you don't have that comfort zone around you because you need question answered, you don't have it. So, and that would it got me for a long time. I know him, but I don't know him. And that's really hard. It feel like that he didn't want me, he just had me, and I just call him a sperm donor.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to have nothing to deal. I tried to have a relationship with him, but I was doing all the trying, and nah, I can't.
Yeah, Miran, I think this kind of leads to your origin and like why you're doing what you're doing now. So I just want to dive into this a little bit more because I know that there's an epidemic among Black Americans where they don't have a father. So have you done any research into how many children right now are living in the United States with a father that's absent? Do you know any statistics like that? Or maybe you can share with us a little bit about where your father was and why he didn't feel like he was capable of being your dad.
He stayed in Arkansas, and I moved around. I went to Memphis and stayed in Ohio, but when I was in Memphis, I tried to get a relationship. Nothing. Once I had kids, I tried to bring that in the picture. Like, hey, you got grandkids, and that didn't help. I'm like, man, okay.
What was he doing all this time? Was he just working, or was he hustling, or what was he doing out there in the world?
He was working. He had another family. He had got married. I knew my stepmom. I knew her and stuff. I mean, me and her got along good, but me and him didn't. But so I associated with him because he was married to her, so I didn't really deal with her too much. Uh, I was like mad because really he got married and he moved. He had another daughter and son. The daughter moved in with them, and it wasn't the lady he was married to. It wasn't even her daughter. So it was somebody else's daughter. That I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, man. So that really got me. I'm like, hold on. I'm out here need question answers and things like this, but how could you bring in somebody else that you already have kids too at the same time? You'll have a relationship with her, and I don't knock her for that because that ain't her I mean, her problem. It was his because she wasn't asked to be here and all this. Because
Yeah.
I don't blame her, I blame him.
Yeah, for sure. He was the adult. He was the adult in the situation. So, obviously, you had children. You moved on. So, what did you decide that was going to be your profession when you got out into the world and became a man?
Well, I didn't really know. I didn't have kids until I was 27 because I was still out here trying to search who I was. I didn't want to bring no kids in no world where that I was unstable myself.
Thank you.
I knew I was unstable.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, I got to find myself first to have kids because I don't want to bring no kids in this world.
Been there, done that, right?
Yeah, and I have friends and things like that, and I see what they go through and child support and all that. And then I'm like, nah, that ain't my cup of tea. I don't want to be on child support. I don't want to have to keep having the court system in my business and
No.
stuff
So
like.
you obviously found a wonderful woman. So when did you meet your wife?
I met the wife. I met her back in 20. No, 1998,
Awesome.
and we was together for 2 years, and then my first daughter, she was born in September 17th, 2020,
Okay.
and
Or
uh,
2000.
2000.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
not. Well, I say 2020.
Because
2000.
2020 is the year. We always would have all because it was the shit year.
Right, in 2000.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
September 17th, 2000. And her name is Lakeisha Gunnells.
Mm.
And once I was doing that, I was like, all right, I might have one more. I was the career I picked, I was still out there a little bit, but I wasn't. Once I found out she was pregnant, I went to go get my CDLs, my Class A driver's license, and I was on the road for a while. And then once I got off the road, I was there with my family, raising them. Then I had my second daughter in 2003. December 23rd, she's 2 days away from Christmas.
Poor kid.
I'm like, oh man. So she was born, and she had got sick after she had got when she was born. She was taking depot shots where you would won't get pregnant anymore. And I told her, I asked her, I said, please don't take that stuff. Don't take it. But she took it anyway, and it ate her liver up.
Oh my God. I was on depot. How many shots did she get?
She only got probably about 3 or 4 shots.
Yeah, I did one, and then we pretty much got stable really early, and so we tried to have kids for a couple years, and the Depo-Provera shot really messed my female system up. And I was infertile for 2 years, and that's how it really affected me. So we ended
Wow.
up going on Clomid to conceive my son, and we had him in 98. So it all worked out. But I've heard horrible things about Depo-Provera. I mean, is there a class action lawsuit out about that drug?
I
Is there?
don't see. I don't even know about that. That's
You should
why I
look into
couldn't.
it.
Yeah. And when she was getting sick and stuff, and excuse me, we went to the hospital, and they kept her for a couple of days, and they was wanted to do biopsy on her. So they did the biopsy, came back. They thought she was an alcoholic.
Mm.
She was getting cirrhosis of the liver. I'm like, huh? I'm like, she don't do nothing. She drink air every blue moon. She'll take a drink. That's about it.
She's a mama. She has these little babies, and she was taking care of them. And it was that medicine, man. Did they attribute that medicine to her illness?
Yeah, it
Good.
was because it after that couple years later, she started developing Crohn's disease, and after that, because we moved out here in 2007. We had moved in Arizona, and then she moved back home back in 2010. Uh, I think because I think she was feeling she was getting sick and stuff, so she moved back home, and everything started. Everything just started breaking down after that. It's like all her organs was uh,
Wow.
shutting down. The last conversation I got with her, it was they had called her in, told her she need to hurry up and come back to the hospital. I'm like, what's going on? She like, she don't know. And she like, man, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm ready to go because this ain't nobody trying to help her do nothing, trying to get a liver transplant or nothing like that. So when she went back in, probably about 5 or 6 hours later, they had put her into a reduced coma.
Wow.
I'm like, what's going on? And they said all her organs were shutting down. It had got so bad where if you was touching her, she'll start bleeding.
Oh my God, Myron, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, and then her mom and them called me and was trying to rush me to get the kids back there, but she was already gone. She was on life support.
Oh,
And I was like, I told them, I said, just let her go. Don't let her suffer. I don't want the kids to see her like that
mhm,
because that will all they will remember is her
mhm.
laying in that bed.
How old were your children?
There was only 10 and 7.
Okay, so they have good memories of their mom. That's good, at least.
The youngest one don't.
Mm.
She got vague memories of her and stuff like that. So I
Yeah, take
talked.
those pictures. Mamas,
Yeah,
take those pictures of yourself. You never
yeah.
know what's going to happen.
So
Babies are going to want to see you.
we got a lot of pictures of her and the
Good,
kids when they was little and stuff growing
good,
up. So and
good.
we talk about her, and every year for the last 12 years, on her birthday and when she passed, we
Mhm.
celebrate.
What's your wife's name?
Her name was Tori Dent.
Keep
And
saying her name.
yes, yes. I do. I keep she I talk to her all the time because she's looking down. I want her to be proud of me
She is.
because mm,
She is.
I raised them as a good daughters and dad. Because
Yeah.
I was like, man, it
Yeah.
was.
Oh, Myron, if you were here right now, I'd be giving you a big hug. Um,
It still hurts to this day because they don't have no mom to call and talk to.
Yeah. Were there women in the community and maybe family members of hers or yours that kind of rallied and helped you out, kind of giving them some motherly help when they were
Oh
going
yeah,
through all the things?
yeah. And then I had got remarried back in 2015.
Oh, right.
And so she helped me out a lot with the girls, and because you know I don't know a whole lot about females. I know a little bit, but all the other stuff I don't know the insides and outs
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the women world. But I was raised by women, and so I know aspects of things, but not the whole
Yeah.
details.
Yeah, we're
Like,
kind of complex. These mermaid women people that we are, we're kind of these crazy, like you can't quite figure us out or put a finger on us, and we don't want you to. So I get it.
right, right,
I
right.
get it.
I used to do their hair and stuff. I used to press their hair and things like that. And I had them looking nice.
I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. And then my sister, she used to braid their hair and put beads and stuff on it. But when times came to crunch, I used to press their hair and stuff like that, put them in nice little ponytails and stuff like that. So
That's sweet.
I did the mom and dad role.
Yeah,
So
you did. Yeah, you did. So I just wanted to shout out to your wife. You married someone in 2015. Are you guys still together?
yes, yes, her name
Good,
is Marie.
Marie. So I have some step parent situations in my life. My parents got divorced when I was 4. My parents both got remarried when I was 9 and I think 8 and 9 years old. And they didn't have to do that. And then, I look at my life with, I was a single mom with 3 little kids in 2011. And there was lots of guys that I dated that really thought I was cool and pretty and liked me, but they didn't want to be an Insta dad. And they knew that they would have to step up to the plate. And so I met someone that would, and I'm forever, ever, forever grateful to him. And I like to just do a shout out because there's these people that are just angels and they say, you know what? They're not my kids, but I'm going to love them like they are.
Right, and that's what she do. She love them just like they her own,
Beautiful.
and I'm like, wow. Yeah, and some you can't find a lot of people like that.
Yeah, I didn't. It took me a long time. Believe me, I was
Oh
going through
yeah, yeah, me
nest.com.
too. Me too.
Oh my
I'm
God.
like, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. Don't
Yeah.
nobody want no instant family.
No. No. They want to start from scratch. They want that DNA in their kids. But the thing is, when you meet a sweet little child and they need you, your heart just goes out to them and you just love them and it just works out. So God is good that way. When I was living in Panama City, my kids went to the school down the street and I was staying at home and kind of working part time and trying to just raise the 3 boys because it was so much to take them to preschool or to daycare. And so we just kind of tried to piece together some type of normalcy and got by with me not working for off and on about 7 years. But there was a gentleman that my husband was working with. I think he was a single dad and he had 2 little girls. And I, for the life, and he actually, it was there, his wife had Munchausen's syndrome, the disease where the wife thinks that if she injures the children, then she'll get attention.
Wow.
So he took the kids from her. He got full custody and it was amazing. Men normally can't do that. And that poor guy, he struggled with the hair. He struggled with the emotional stuff. He struggled and he had to raise his girls to be tough. And so what I'm
Me
wondering
too.
is if you knew that, gosh, you're a guy and you're trying to still keep them soft and keep them in, like it's a hard thing. And he was over. He was like, they're just going to be tough bitches when they grow up and it's going to be fine. So
Right, right. That's what I did
yeah,
too. And you know what? He went to court. I did the same thing. I went and got joint custody. I filed for joint custody just in case she wanted to try to put me on child support or anything. We weren't gonna have that because I've been there from day one.
yeah,
And I'm like, no, we ain't gonna play these games. How these women, some of these women, I can't say all, but some women play games, want to put the men on child support, even if they still there and everything. So I'm like, nah, let me go down here to the
yeah.
court.
Show up for your kids. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
show
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Whether it's time or money, you've got to show up in one way because that's the only way that we can show our love is through time and money. So people
Oh
that don't do that,
yeah,
not
right,
okay.
right. So that's what I did, and and she didn't get mad at me. I thought she was gonna get mad, but she was happy with it and stuff. So
Good.
I was like, all right, we cool now. So
Yeah,
uh,
that's a good
I,
that's a good solution. So you were a truck driver for a little while, and then you were kind of a stay-at-home dad. So what jobs did you have through the years, and then how did this idea of the nonprofit come about?
I was, you know, I'm still doing truck driving here and there. I'm just trying to uh, concentrate on the nonprofit. But when it came to me, I mean, my kids was grown and stuff, and I was tired of in and out of jobs because the trucking scene is brutal right now, and don't nobody want to really pay you. Everybody want to keep the money for themselves,
Yeah.
and I'm like, man, I need to find something to do in my second half of life because I'm 50 and I'm tired of driving trucks. I don't
Yeah.
want to do this all my life and be broke down and stuff. So I prayed to God, been going to church, asking him like, man, I need something else. What can I do? And he was coming to me and telling me about help these fathers out here, and that's how the Real Fathers Inc. came about. In 2023, I was like, man, my kids grown. I said, I don't have to worry about them too much.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can get out here and something outside the box. I didn't even think about uh, doing this, but he just told me to get out here and start talking to people to get the word out how these fathers need help out here, and that's what I did. I got everything together. I'm a 501c3 organization, and we help with education, mentorship, and counseling. On the education side, because I want men to have career jobs, not just regular jobs.
Yeah.
On the career side, education side, I want them to have education, and we're gonna do mentor education, uh, trade schools, uh, uh, community college, and commercial driver's license because I want them to have careers to show the kids how to get out of poverty.
Yep.
If you have careers, I'm a prime example. I had my trucking career and doing my real fathers. Now my daughters, my oldest one, Lakeisha, she's 23 and she's in the medical field. And she's do dialysis right now. And she wants to start off right there and see how she like it, see how she like poking people and things like that. And she's loving it. And my youngest, Yoshika, she's 20 and she's doing daycare. She loves
Oh, that's
love
wonderful.
kids. She love kids. And
That's
kids
wonderful.
love her. They just flop to her,
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's a gift. I said
it is.
I'll have to do something. So we're gonna open up a daycare inside the organization
Wonderful. Wonderful.
called Pico Fun Center. And she wanted that's from toddlers to the youth because she want to give back and show the kids it's a way to grow up, mentor them, and show them, mentor them how to if you have a single parent, how you can get through it with the single parent and the step parent too. So
That's great. That's great. So if people want to learn more about you or support your nonprofit, Real Fathers Inc., Byron, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
oh, they can get a hold of me at Real Father Nonprofit at gmail.com, or you can go on the website at faithoffathers.com.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, this is a huge issue and it's something that is very important. We want to support anyone that's raising children. It's not ever easy. And when you're alone, it's triple as hard because you have no time for yourself.
Right, right. And you really don't. And I give all the props and the respect to the single moms who raise their kids, because I see the hard work, the grind,
Mhm.
where you have to take them to the doctor, have to miss work. I'm like, wow, okay, this is another world. Okay, I said,
I don't know how I did it. I really don't. I don't know how.
right, that's what I'm saying. I said I did it on the grace of God
Yeah.
and my wife now, because I'm like, wow, okay,
Mhm.
it's a lot of things you have to do when you a single parent.
Yeah. So, I just wanted, we're about done with our time today, Myron. Thank you so much for coming on. I just wanted to ask you, what's next for Real Fathers Inc. And then also, if there's any little bits and pieces of our conversation that you found really important, or any questions you want to ask me.
Oh yes, my next step is trying to partner up with other organizations that's in the line of me, or with the youth, because we're gonna have a youth group too. Our opportunity for growth, help the young youth out here, mentor them, and get them counseling if they need it. So that's what I really want to do next: partner up with other organizations and things like that. And yes, I want to ask you some couple of questions about your childhood. And was you raised from Florida or somewhere else?
I was raised in Colorado,
Okay.
and I was raised by just salt of the earth, good people. My grandfather was a coal miner, and he was a dirt farmer before that. They immigrated from the Kansas Dust Bowl in the 40s. And yeah, I came over and started a better life for his family. Had 4 boys. My mom and dad met while they were in the Air Force. Both of them served. And then I went on to serve in the military too, because I was, living in a small town, and you can imagine that my light shined a little brighter, and I was like, I got to do something different, guys. Check you out. Peace later. And got on a
Right.
bus and headed to MEPS and joined the military and never looked back. So I've had a heck of an adventure. I moved to Florida in 2005, and I've been here for almost 20 years now, and I love it. I don't know if I'll ever go back, but I love to travel. I love to support my husband in his journey right now. He's going through prostate cancer. Most people know that. I
Right.
have 3 kids, and they're grown and just about all out of the nest. So we're just loving life, and just dealing with one day at a time, because really that's all you got. Just trying to love on people as much as possible, and make sure that folks know they're supported in any way they need support. So I want you to know from the bottom of my heart, Myron, that you've got my support. I'm on your team, and I want to help you grow. And we need to circle back. There's a couple resources I want to share with you. So
Okay. All right. I want to know. You got remarried. The kid's father, did he have a part of the kids' lives or anything?
that's a great question. And I write about this in my book, You Have Arrived, and we had been together 18 years, and he was a good man, and he was handsome, and he gave me 3 beautiful children, and we had a lot in common, and we liked to cook together and have parties together. And in Washington State, we lived there when our kids were born, and we just were the perfect little epic family. And I knew that behind closed doors we weren't. There was things going on that were not acceptable, and that we fought about. And so I thought, well, let's see if we can get a better opportunity money wise, in a different place. So there was a job offer in Panama City. And so my husband took it, and we moved across the country with 3 little boys. They were at the time 2, 5, and 8,
Okay.
and tried to make our new lives. The first thing we did, we fell into the Baptist church, and they converted me. And I went from non-denominational Christian to Baptist, which is pretty easy to do. And I
Right.
was in praise and worship for about 3.5 years there in Panama City. So we were a perfect little family again, doing our thing. There were still things happening behind closed doors that were unacceptable. And I just knew that eventually I was going to have to divorce them, because he was not going to ever change. And alcoholism. And, I found this out recently, that alcoholics lie to
Yeah.
cover up their drinking, and it's pretty simple. But I knew he had good stuff in him, and I was like, you're just lying because you're a liar. I was like, you're a psychopath. But no, he's just an alcoholic. So now that he's a recovering alcoholic, and he has been for almost 3 years, he has turned his life around in a lot of ways. He still struggles. He's really behind in his career journey, but he's a good person. And so much so that when my son graduated high school in 2023, I sent him out there. I said, go see your dad, go spend some time with your dad. So he's out in Idaho with his father, and they are doing great. I just talked to them a little while ago, and they're happy and they're loving on each other. And there's no animosity whatsoever. I mean, we all go through life, and we'll always be family, you know.
Right,
His
right,
parents
right.
always going to be people I love, and vice versa. So yeah, it's just part of life, and sometimes things happen, and you got to move through it.
Right, yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to do that because that's the main, making sure the kids is all right, and that's my main focus because I understand. I grew up with no dad, so it's hard sometimes when you grow up with no father figure in your life because it's like how I'm gonna survive out here, how I'm gonna get taught. And I never get no mentor and things like that because I didn't understand none of that. Now I do. I wish I would have got it back then, but God put me through this for a reason to get the understanding of things now in my second half of the life.
Mhm.
I can thank him for
Help is
because
out there. Help is out there. You just need to communicate that you're offering it, and we're going to do that. And so I thank you so much for letting us get the word out for single fathers, Myron. This has been an absolute pleasure.
thank you. Thank you for having me.